Hey, I hope you can hear me okay. I don't have my mic today. So I was just riding up here to get some spring water with my girls, and we were talking about various girly kinds of things having to do with women and men and relations between them. And I realized something as I was talking to them, and they told me that I should share it. So I'm really not sure where I'm going to share this yet. It might just be in the Goddess Glow group because it's kind of private, or it might be public if I feel brave enough to do that. But anyway, it's about this technique used, and I'm sure a lot of you who watch my channel are already familiar with this kind of thing, but it's called Karezza. I think that's what it's called. So here's the thing. I haven't studied it a ton, I haven't read very much about it other than just the general things about how energy can be conserved, and I haven't read a ton of books on it, although my partners have, or at least one or two of them has. So all right, here's the thing. The way it works is, so apparently when a man reaches orgasm, part of what happens to his energy field is he puts life energy outward, right, to create a child and do other things and whatever. And when a woman reaches orgasm, she brings energy in for the same purposes. So the idea behind Karezza is that the men, now hardcore Karezza means that the men don't ever have an orgasm, but I never practiced that just because of personal preference. So what I would do, and I've done this now with two different partners, two different loves that I had in my life, years apart, on very, very different people. So I feel like I have a decent overview, at least some kind of sample size, to what it's like when you do this. And so when I would do it, it's not that they would never reach completion. It was only twice a month, so during the full moon and during the new moon. And so we would always pair it with intentions. And then I, as the lover, would work as kind of a facilitator during that, because it's not like I would be in a position of not being equal, because I know sometimes that can happen with your sexuality if one person is always supporting the other. But with this, it was twice a month, so it was incredible. And the rest of the time, my big thing was I always want my partners to be satisfied. So I was like, are you sure this is okay? Are you sure that you're not feeling like you need more? And after an initial period of transferring from one to the other, which usually took anywhere from a week to 2 weeks or so, my loves would always say, no, I feel fine. I feel great. I feel like I did. And so from my perspective, as a woman being in love with a man who was or was not practicing this at various times, and also being with men who sometimes did practice it and then would eventually not practice it again, so I would see what that was like. When my partners were conserving their energy force like that, they were more focused. Their intelligence was more grounded in their body and not so much in the etheric realm where they couldn't act on it. They were way more loving toward me, and I've heard various chemical reasons for that, and I've heard some emotional reasons for it, but whatever, it just was that way for me. And they, let's see, what else? Their manifestation was more intense. Our sex was better because they were just more present. There's more there. And always when they stopped doing Karezza, they would kind of go back to how they were before. So it's just one of those tips. Like, you don't have to do it. I'm sure there are beautiful, beautiful ways to conserve energy and to flow energy and stuff that has nothing to do with withholding orgasm. But I will say that, again, that I did check with them and I said, are you sure this is okay? I want to make sure you're satisfied. And they would always tell me after that initial period, no, I like it better. I like it more. So, I'm not saying that you should do this, but if you're into trying it out, I mean, why not just spend a couple months doing that for partners who want to maybe upgrade the magic that you can do while you're making love to each other. You can have your goddess or your god, depending on what kind of relationship you're in, facilitate your completion toward a goal with that in mind. And the rest of the time, you're generating and generating and generating this amazing lucid life force and never losing anything. Now, but there's one more thing. I experienced them going through a period of transition where instead of like the energy builds and then it explodes out of you at the moment of orgasm, what would happen was they would learn to cycle it back through their body. It would usually have to do with things like when they tense and release their leg muscles or their pelvic floor, stuff like that. But also it was a mental thing. And so then rather than the energy condensing in their lower abdomen and sacral region, it would spread out through their arms and legs. And so then as a woman, you could facilitate this and say, you know, as it's happening and as the tension is building, you can remind them and then help, you know, or if you're a man and your partner's a man, you could do that as well. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully this is helpful. Research on it yourself. Now, like I said, I have not done any classic research hardly at all on this, only when it's mentioned in other things that I'm reading. But I believe the way that you spell the word Karezza is Krezza. That's my experience with it. And now it's funny because now that I'm single and I'm talking to my girls about it, I'm thinking like, yeah, I think it's going to be required in a relationship. I mean, it just makes things better in my experience. But like I said, just one person's experience is just one person's experience. I just thought I'd share with you guys because my girls told me that I should. All right, much love to you from Sedona, the creek and the mountains. And hope you're all doing very well. Much love. See you again very soon.